come to me is like, where to go next. And they're basically exhausted because they've been working hard, and they thought that they were doing the right thing. And I call it the first mountain syndrome. It's like walking up that mountain and then standing at the top of the mountain and not seeing that view that someone promised you. And some people keep walking up that same mountain over and over again, hoping that once they come up, they are in the promised land. And I think that's what we feel is like, we reach a certain point where we just like unsure about which decisions are right for us. And we know deep down, like, okay, hey, I can continue doing the same thing, but it's going to lead to the same result. And these results are not fulfilling me. And that's a nice way of saying it, because deep down it eventually leads to burnout or depression. Another question that comes up is okay, why am I not more confident? Or why am I not more happy at this point? So those are questions that come up that show that there's a conflict. And for a very long time, it's human. Like the first stage of change is denial, and in that denial stage, we focus our attention externally, and we project it on other things so that we don't have to take responsibility ourselves. But as I said with the first mountain syndrome, if we've walked up that mountain a couple of times, then like the same thing continues to happen, and we become aware that it might not be the external environment, but something inside of us. And that is the moment that people are actually going to change. That's the moment where they get out of denial and go more into resistance, and turn their focus from the external world into the internal world, and start asking indeed that question, hey, why am I not more confident? Why am I not more happy? If these decisions don't lead to fulfillment, happiness, or whatever I'm after, then which decision will lead to that?
Yeah, and I think just touching in that part, I feel like we get to a point in our life where we keep hitting the same hurdle. And I think I see it with my clients, as in they still keep getting the recurring health issue. Maybe it's digestion, skin, fatigue, and maybe then it becomes a headache or reproductive issue. And it's like sometimes we have to go through a little bit of, I guess, suffering, or a little bit of smack in the face, and it has to get a little bit harder for us to kind of think, okay, something deeply needs to change. Like I've gone on a holiday, or I've done a boot camp, or I've done some form of self-development work course, but it hasn't really led to that behavioral change I'm looking at. And obviously that's something that you really master, is behavioral change. Why do you feel like it's so hard for people to act upon their values in an alignment way, and make those changes to really step forward into that potential?
Okay, let's start at the beginning of this podcast. Like, let's go back to my mission. It's simply because of lack of role models. So I remember after